Does dating ever feel like you're walking on eggshells? What if I told you that all the effort you're putting in is actually the problem? That the performance is the turnoff? There's a fierce debate splitting the internet right now over this exact idea, framed around the nonchalant boyfriend. On one side, you have tweets saying, "Girl, he's nonchalant because he doesn't like you. He's definitely chalanting somewhere else." But on the other, you have people claiming, nonchalance is a form of silent leadership. That calm confidence attracts more than effort ever will. It's a confusing puzzle, leaving you to wonder who's right. The answer lies in a framework that bypasses performance and creates genuine attraction by making a woman feel safe, seen, and celebrated. And the secret to unlocking this doesn't come from a dating guru. It comes from one of Hollywood's biggest stars. So who's right in that nonchalant debate online? Is it not caring or quiet confidence? The answer clicked when I heard how Orlando Bloom tried to fix his own love life. After feeling lost in his high-profile relationships, he went to a week-long intensive called the Hoffman process to work through the patterns and emotional baggage behind them. He described it as 3 years of therapy in a week, and he walked out with a 3-part lens he now uses on every relationship. We call it the SSC framework. He asked, "Do I feel safe? Do I feel seen by you? Do I feel celebrated? Safe, seen, celebrated." This is what women are responding to when they call a guy nonchalant or quietly confident. It signals, I can relax around him, he gets me, and he's glad I'm here. When those 3 needs are met, her guard drops. Her attraction stops feeling like a performance, and connection feels easy. Quick gut check. Which pillar feels hardest? Safety, seen, or celebrated? Drop it in the comments. And we'll start with the foundation, because if you miss safety, she'll stay guarded, second-guess you, and pull back no matter how charming you are. It's the silent deal breaker. So what is this foundational safety? It's not about being her bodyguard. It's about creating a low-pressure emotional environment where she can relax and be her authentic self. It's built on 3 core behaviors that work together: calmness, consistency, and having your own standards. Think of them as 3 pillars of the same foundation. Your calmness keeps the emotional tone steady, your consistency makes life with you predictable, and your standards prevent the connection from sliding into neediness or pressure. When those 3 line up, women respond instinctively by relaxing around you, because the world you create with her feels stable instead of chaotic. First, calmness. This is your emotional stability, not overreacting to traffic, a slow reply, or a last-minute change of plans. To her, that signals you're a steady force, not another piece of chaos she has to manage. That's the real appeal of the so-called nonchalant guy. He's engaged, but he isn't volatile. Relationship expert April Davis puts it simply. There's usually less drama, heated arguments, and jealousy. He can be stabilizing if you're a more emotional person because he's not one to overreact. And it isn't just a vibe. A 2024 study in evolutionary psychology found women rank kindness and calm understanding as the single most important factor for attraction, above physical traits. Why? Because when you stay grounded over small things like a late text, her whole system gets the message. I can be myself around him and I'm still safe. From a woman's side, your calm is the difference between feeling like she has to manage your moods and feeling like she can finally exhale. So don't perform indifference. Build genuine emotional steadiness instead of letting every inconvenience hijack the entire vibe. Second, consistency. Far more than grand flashy gestures, women are drawn to reliability. Trust is built in the small everyday moments. Remembering what she told you last week, showing up when you say you will, being the same person today that you were yesterday. Research on interpersonal trust finds that when someone is consistent and predictable, their partner's anxiety drops and they feel secure enough to invest long-term. That's exactly what your follow-through does. It turns you from fun for now into someone her system can actually relax with. From her perspective, consistency feels like, I don't have to keep guessing where I stand with him. Where a lot of guys accidentally blow, this is by going big for a few days and then fading out. That roller coaster might feel intense, but it keeps her on edge instead of making her feel safe enough to really open up. Third, and this is crucial, is having standards. That means you have your own principles, hobbies, and boundaries, and you actually live by them. It shows you respect your own life outside of her, which signals non-neediness. A 2013 study in evolutionary psychology found that men who maintain personal standards are seen as having higher mate value. They're read as stronger long-term partners, not guys just grateful for any attention. To a woman, that feels like, if he's choosing me, it's because he genuinely wants me, not because I'm his only option. That's deeply calming, because she doesn't have to perform or compete just to hold your interest. It keeps the space between you low pressure instead of clingy or transactional. From her side, knowing you won't toss out your friends, goals, or boundaries the second you like someone makes you feel safer, not harder to get. And for you, the trap to avoid is dropping all your standards to keep her happy. That doesn't create closeness. It quietly kills her respect and the sense of safety you're trying to build. But here's the critical part. If safety is all you build, you create a very comfortable space for a friend. That's when you become the solid, reliable guy she cries to about other men, but somehow never actually chooses. Emotional safety is the foundation. It's non-negotiable. But to build attraction, she doesn't just need to feel safe with you. She also needs to feel deeply seen by you. Pillar 2 is what pulls you out of the nice guy box, making her feel seen. Not judged on a checklist, but experienced as a person. Autopilot lines like, "You're gorgeous," or "You're so smart," blur together and land as noise. That's observing versus performing in one line. It's the shift from, "You look great," to "I love how your face lights up when you talk about your friends." Observing like this lets you catch small shifts in her tone, eye contact, and body language that show whether she's relaxed, checked out, or drawn in. So you're not walking on eggshells guessing. When you share observations like that, her sense of humor or the way she explains something, you're showing you're tuned into her, not another girl. To her, it lands as, "You're seeing me, not just my public version." Women respond instinctively to that because it feels safe and interesting. You're not complimenting to get a reaction. You're naming what's true in front of you. As a rule, swap vague labels like "you're beautiful" for one detail you're noticing in that moment. Research from Boston University on couples found that when people felt noticed for small details, they reported more attraction and closeness than with generic praise. What this signals to her is, you value who I am, not just how I look. Safety gets you in the door. Being seen makes her want you to stay. The last pillar takes that feeling and turns it into lasting desire, and making her feel celebrated. And this feeling of being celebrated isn't about grand romantic gestures. It's the feeling of being prioritized, appreciated, and actually enjoyed for who she is. And it comes down to 2 traits you can show very clearly: balanced leadership and genuine warmth. First, balanced leadership. When women say they want a leader, they don't mean a dictator. They mean a man who makes things happen and reduces friction without taking away her voice. After a long day, constant decisions are exhausting. So when you take the initiative, you lift that weight and it lands as, "You matter to me," which is what being celebrated feels like. The wrong way is the passive, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" Or the aggressive, "We're going here. Deal with it." Balanced leadership sounds like, "I was thinking we could try that new Italian place on Friday at 7. What do you think?" You offer a clear plan and still invite her input, so she feels included, not dragged along. Second is warmth. And don't mistake warmth for weakness or being a pushover. I know many men fear being too nice. Warmth isn't that. It's the confidence to be kind while still having boundaries. In practice, it looks like being easy to talk to, relaxed body language, and curious questions. It's light, playful humor that eases tension and specific appreciation with no strings attached. Thanking her for coming out after a long day, or telling her you love how her face lights up when she talks about something. Those moments let her feel, he notices and enjoys me. Psychologists recently found in a 2024 study that warmth and compassion are what drop a woman's guard the fastest. So your warmth doesn't just make her feel safe. It makes her feel chosen and celebrated. So now you have the SSC framework. Safe, seen, and celebrated. Safe calms her body. Seen calms her mind. And celebrated tells her she's valued, not replaceable. Underneath all three is the same deep biological trigger in her nervous system. When she feels safe, seen, and celebrated, her guard drops and bonding and attraction can start. Up to now, we've talked about the how, the behaviors. Next, we'll go into the why, the core psychological idea that ties these pillars together and makes dating feel less like a game and more like a natural instinct. That single concept is adult attachment theory. The SSC framework, creating safety, making her feel seen and celebrated, is secure attachment in action. Safety is being steady and predictable. Seen is being emotionally tuned in. Celebrated is holding genuine positive regard and showing you're glad she's in your life. Those are exactly the behaviors researchers point to when they describe a secure partner. Adult attachment theory, from researchers like Hazan and Shaver, shows that in relationships, partners act as a secure base for each other. In real life, that means she knows where she stands with you. You're reliable, emotionally available, and she doesn't have to brace for disappearing acts or mood swings. What this actually signals is, I'm safe with this man. And women respond instinctively to that stability. Think of it like a mountaineer's base camp. It's the solid place they can come back to, which gives them the confidence to go out and take risks. In a relationship, when you show up calmly and consistently over time, you become that base camp for her. When her nervous system feels that secure base, attraction doesn't come from a checklist. It comes from relief. She can drop some of her guard, stop overanalyzing every text, and lean into the connection. Studies on attachment show secure couples have more trust and stronger commitment. Both partners also feel mentally and emotionally better in the relationship. This is the shift. It's less about memorizing moves and more about the kind of man you're becoming. The calmness, consistency, and warmth you've been practicing are signs of a real secure inner state, not a gimmick. If you run tactics, delayed replies, or fake indifference, she feels that performance instantly, and it makes her less safe, not more attracted. The goal is to build that secure state, so attraction becomes a natural side effect. Most men miss its working because they scan for big signs, but real interest shows up in small, nonverbal green lights, which I'll break down next. These nonverbal green lights are the feedback loop you've been missing. They're honest signals that show her nervous system is relaxing around you. That's why they're almost impossible to fake. When you see them, you can stop guessing and trust that you're creating a real connection. Back in 1985, a study by Moore in the journal Ethology and Sociobiology cataloged over 52 distinct nonverbal courtship behaviors women use, which show up far more often when a woman feels safe and interested. You don't need all 52, just the most common reliable ones that let you stop mind reading and get off that walking on eggshells feeling. Here are the big ones to watch for. Signal number 1, the head tilt. When she tilts her head as you're speaking, she's engaged and genuinely curious about your perspective. That's what it looks like when you're hitting the scene part of SSC. Signal number 2, genuine smiles and easy laughter. Not the tight, polite smile you'd give a stranger, but a real smile that reaches her eyes and laughter that comes quickly. That's your SSC framework showing up as safe and celebrated in real time. Signal number 3, her body moves toward you. She leans in, angles her torso your way, or subtly closes the distance when you're talking. Her body is saying, I feel comfortable here, which is your safe box being checked. Signal number 4. Small preening gestures, flipping her hair, lightly touching her neck, or playing with her jewelry while she's engaged often signals flirty nervousness. Your attention matters, which is the celebrated piece of SSC. Just don't treat every fidget as attraction. If her body is turned away or her energy is closed off, read that as discomfort, not interest. Finally, look at her overall posture. Open arms, relaxed shoulders, and a body that isn't angled toward an exit are her nervous system's way of saying, I feel safe. That core safe piece is what makes the other signals matter. If her posture is tight or turned away, treat that as feedback to slow down, take pressure off, and rebuild safety instead of pushing forward. These aren't tricks to game the system. They're signs of genuine human connection that you helped create, grounded in honest, hard-to-fake nervous system responses. Instead of obsessing over what she's really thinking, you can watch for these consistent body language patterns and let them reassure you. They're your proof that the SSC framework is working in real time. And seeing the world this way turns one date into a fundamental shift in how you connect. So let's talk about how to make this mindset your new default. So how do you make this your new default? By closing the nonchalant boyfriend debate and seeing the line between performance and presence. His calmness is attractive because it signals he's a secure base. It only works when it's paired with warmth and attention. A performance of indifference is just cold and not safe. That warmth is what makes a woman feel safe, seen, and celebrated. The real chill guy women stay with. The SSC framework is your roadmap to presence. Lasting attraction comes from making a woman feel safe, seen, and celebrated, so her guard drops and attraction builds. Using SSC as your guide pulls you out of performance and into the presence women trust and attach to. This isn't about memorizing lines. It's about building security, so your calmness, attention, and warmth are genuine. Women respond instinctively to that grounded energy. It tells her, I'm safe here, I can be myself with him. In practice, that looks like listening instead of chasing stories to impress, and staying steady instead of panicking when there's tension. That is presence. When you swap the question, how can I impress her, for how can I make her feel safe, seen, and celebrated, you stop walking on eggshells. Using SSC as your filter takes that pressure off and lets you show up as yourself. Attraction becomes the natural result, not the anxious goal you're chasing. Because in the end, remember this. Intensity impresses women briefly. Consistency impacts women deeply. If this video gave you a new perspective on dating, give it a like and subscribe for more insights on building genuine connections. See you in the next one.